Welcome to Gooner Longboards. Today I'm going to show you how to make a GoPro spinning helmet mount using stuff you probably already have around your house. Here's what you'll need. A skateboard wheel with decent bearings, a 10mm axle spacer, a bolt that fits the bearings. 5/16 is the right size in English. This should be about 2 inches long, and you'll also need a nut and washer for it. I'd recommend an Allen head, but a flat head can work as well. 2 drywall screws, about 1 3/4 inch long, a pole. A ski pole should work fine. I'm making this one with a lightweight aluminum pole. You'll want it to be a little less than twice the length of one of your arms. A helmet with a hole on the top, or one you're willing to drill a hole in, although I don't recommend it. A 1/4 bolt to attach your GoPro tripod mount with. I have one with a nice knob here, but anything will work as long as you bring something to tighten it with. Something heavy for a counterweight. A stack of big washers, a big bolt, anything works. You'll also need some tape, sandpaper, and a drill. Here's an exploded view of the pivot. The whole rig bolts onto your helmet on the left here. This bolt attaches the wheel, which is free to spin, on top of your helmet. These screws attach the pole to this wheel. The main bolt is tightened by sticking an Allen key through this hole. This is why having an Allen key is easier than a hex bolt or flathead, which would require you to wedge a screwdriver or pair of pliers around the side to tighten the bolt on. First, figure out how long your pole will be. Hold it above your head and reach out as if you're trying to turn on the GoPro at the end. You want it just short enough so you can reach. Mark the point over your head. This will be the pivot point. Drill a hole at the pivot point big enough so your Allen key will fit through. You'll need to be able to tighten the bolt down to attach the rig to your helmet, so an Allen key works best. You can get by with a flathead or just use a pair of pliers, but it's a real pain. Take your skateboard wheel and drill 2 holes into it for the screws. You'll want to use a bit that's pretty small, since the urethane doesn't have too much grab to it. Now line up the center of the wheel with the hole you drilled in the pole, and mark the positions of the holes. Drill these through the pole with a bit big enough for the screws to fit through easily. Next, we need to mount the camera. You'll need a hole at the end of the pole, big enough to fit a 1/4 bolt. Make sure it's aligned with the holes you just drilled for mounting to the wheel, otherwise your camera will be off at an angle. Get your 1/4 bolt and size it up in the hole. You want just a little sticking out to go into the GoPro mount. You can adjust this with washers or a nut on the bolt. Now, time to mount the pole to the wheel. First, test the clearance of the head on the main bolt. If the pole is rubbing on the bolt, wrap some tape around it on either side to shim it up. If your wheel is really thin, you can use a big washer here, or just a lot of tape. Now put the screws through the pole and tighten them into the wheel. Make sure you don't squeeze down too hard and press the pole into the bolt. Now test the fit of your Allen key. Make sure it fits through the hole and into the bolt head. Time to balance the rig. First, attach your GoPro to the end. Then get some heavy stuff. I'm using a piece of brass here, and tape it to the pole about where you think it should go. Now adjust its position, or add more or less, until the rig is balanced. Remember, this is going to be spinning around on your head, so you want it to be as close as possible. Once it's balanced, tape your weight on securely, and it's time to attach it to your helmet. Put the spacer on the bolt, followed by a washer. If you have more than about a 1/2 inch of bolt left, you can use more spacers or cut down the bolt. You don't want that extra bolt poking you in the head. Now line the nut up on the inside of your helmet and tighten the rig on snugly. Time to take it for a spin. It'll take some getting used to, but once you're accustomed to this thing spinning around up there, it isn't so bad. You'll also want to adjust your GoPro so you can see just the top of your helmet in your shots. Ride safe. This rig can be dangerous if you fall on it, so don't do anything stupid. And stay out of the trees.